Are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yeah. So let us go to the next topic. So we were initially talking about data, computational thinking and all that. Let us now talk about logical thinking, what it is. Okay. So what is logical thinking? So it is a learned mental process, we can say, or a sequential thinking process. Okay, and then maybe we can say thinking in steps of connections and consequences, this after this, etc. So computers perform logical thinking with the help of concept called arguments. So now when I say arguments, you should not confuse with the normal nomenclature what we use. That is like say we say don't argue with others, something of that sort. It's not that. Argument in the sense collection of conversation so that it helps us to draw some conclusion. Okay. So that is what we refer to as argument. So multiple conversations out of which we are able to draw some conclusion. That is argument when we refer to as argument. So formally an argument is group of statements, one of which the conclusion is claimed to follow from the others, which is called premises. That is, like say certain statements are made and from that towards the end we are able to conclude something. So the initial statements what we make is premises and then from that we are able to conclude something. So that is called conclusion. Okay. So they are all, they are all arguments. From that we are able to come to a conclusion based on the premises. So of course, argument would have premises. Please mute yourself unless you want to ask me something. Please mute yourself. So parts of argument. So you have premises. So that is the statements. What is initially like facts or some evidence from which we are trying to conclude something. Okay. So conclusion is the statement that is claimed to follow from the evidence. So this process, like you're reaching the conclusion from the premises, that process is called logical reasoning. Okay, we do this in real life. We are talking because we should know how the computers do. Logical reasoning. So if premise is true, so like based on some fact, I am trying to conclude something. So just because the fact is true, we cannot say assure that the conclusion is also true, because we should connect the correct uh, premises. Like say for example, assume that we make a first premise or first statement that all animals uh, say have four legs, something like that. Okay, so all animals have four legs, and then maybe as one more statement, or maybe I can say all cats have four legs. I can say that, isn't it? You agree to that? All cats are having four legs. So then say a dog. Okay, a dog is thinking, okay, I have, or say you have a dog in front of you. So you have a fact that all cats are have all cats have four legs. And then one more fact what you have with you is this animals. Assume that you don't know what that animal is. Okay, but it is actually a dog. Okay. And then you have a dog in front of you, but then you don't know it's a dog. So you say, okay, this animal is also having four legs. Both the facts, both the statements what you told now are correct. Yes or no? The first thing what I'm saying is all cats are having four legs. Okay, that is the first statement what I'm saying. Second one what I say is I have actually a dog, but then I don't know it's a dog. So I have it in front of me. And then I say this animal in front of me has four legs. Now these two statements are correct, but can I conclude therefore this is a cat? I can't conclude. That may not be correct, isn't it? So just because your base from where some statements from where you're trying to conclude, those statements which are called as premise, they are true, we cannot say that our conclusion is also true. Okay, because these two facts which I told were correct, but still your conclusion is wrong. Okay, because you have not connected the right facts. Okay, so strength of logic lies in the strength, I'm sorry, in connecting the right facts. So did you understand that example?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, yeah. Logical reasoning has two parts. Okay, formation of logical sentences and then trying to analyze these arguments. So let us see. So now when I say logical sentences, it is something where we say true or false. Okay, that sentence should be like say I say sun rises in the east. So it can be either true or false. Let it be true or let it be false. That is not our intention. But that statement can either be true or false. Okay, nothing beyond that. So if that is the case, we can say it is a logical sentence. So he killed, say Rama killed Ravana. It's either true, yeah, you will say, yeah, true. So sometimes maybe I say Ravana killed Rama, then you will say, no, it's not true. So, but still you have only two possibilities. But then usually for exclamatory sentences or like questions, etc., we don't say that. I mean, we don't say it's a logical sentence. Okay. So like say, we can't say a true or false. Like say, what a beautiful picture, or say, um, what a wonderful story. Okay, so it is like an exclamatory statement. We can't say true or false. That's not the intention of an exclamatory sentence. It is just like with some surprise or some kind of extra this thing, we are saying that. So, oh, what an idea, something like that. But then we don't say true, false, something like that. Okay, so they are not considered to be logical statements. So even questions like, how do you feel today? Okay, so you may say good or bad or maybe something else, but it's not like true, false. Okay, so even when I ask, like say for example, don't think like yes or no. Okay, like say I ask you, did you bath today? Okay, so you feel that yes or no is the answer for that, so you feel it is a logical sentence? No. Okay, logical sentence means it's a statement, not a question, which can be either true or false. So when I say sun rises in the east or this animal is a cat, okay, that's a logical sentence. It can be either true or false. Okay, not beyond that. And it is not a question or or a exclamatory sentence also. Okay, hope you are understanding. Maybe we'll see some more little bit more into that. You may have more clarity. But when we say some examples, these kind of examples where it will evaluate you either true or false. Okay, a sentence that is true or false, we can say it formally as proportion. Okay, that is actually our logical sentence. Okay, not the others. So the questions, the exclamatory sentences, etc., we don't consider them as logical sentences. Now, analyzing, so formation of logical sentence is that. So you have to form a logical sentence which is properly a logical sentence. Now, what is this analyzing the argument? We can have two ways. So it can be either inductive reasoning or deductive reasoning. So let us see what is this. That is, so we told initially that, see, anywhere you get confused, please stop me and ask. So when we said initially that we have premises and conclusions. So if you still don't like exactly know what is premise, it is like some base facts are there, based on that some statements are there, based on which you are trying to conclude something. So that premise and then the conclusion. So when we say uh, inductive reasoning, we have some facts or some case statements uh, which are some specific observations, and then we try to generalize it. The conclusion is kind of generalization. Like for example, in your class, okay, so let me take a few names. See, when I take names, don't feel anything. I'm just randomly taking some names. Okay, so I assume that Hem Charan is one student in the class, and say for example, I have assume that you all have got your ID cards. Okay, so I say that okay, Hem Charan has ID card. Okay, then second student I take, say Bhavya. Okay, I say Bhavya has an ID card. Okay, now I take third student, say Rohit has ID card. So like this, now I have taken say 4 or 5 examples, and then I conclude. So these are my premises. Okay, and then I conclude that all students in this class have ID cards. Okay, so may or may not be correct, but that is not our intention now. Our intention is how is this inductive reasoning. Okay, so specific observations you make and then you generalize. Okay, your conclusion is generalizing it. Okay, um, So what happens here? So use patterns to arrive at conclusion. So like this, like say for example, I take the first student. Like say you were assume that we were in a physical class and you all are sitting in the classroom. Now I see the first person. When I entered the class, I see the first student. I ask him whether he has a laptop. I understand that he has a laptop. So I make a note that student one has a laptop. Now I check with the second student. I understand that he has a laptop too. So I write student 2 has laptop. Like this, I do it for some 4 or 5 students, and then I conclude that all the students in my class are having laptop. Okay, so this is inductive reasoning. I observe something specific for few cases, and then I try to generalize. So what is the problem with this? If I note some 2 students, like say for example, all the students maybe in the first row, all of them had laptop. Maybe beyond that nobody had, but I observed only 4 or 5 from the first table, and then I try to conclude. So my conclusion is not correct, isn't it? So if you just observe few cases and then you try to generalize, it may not be true. Okay, so whether it be true or not, etc., we will see. Okay, but our intention is when we say inductive reasoning, our premises are specific cases, and our conclusion is we are trying to generalize something out of these specific observation. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me say deductive also, and then maybe we'll discuss. Okay, so let us say what is that deductive reasoning. This is the other way. Okay, don't confuse with the terminology. You should not swap it in the sense when I ask what is deductive, you should not tell the other. So specific to general, when you go, that kind of a reasoning is inductive. Now deductive is the other way. So you arrive at specific conclusion based on some generalization, generalized facts. Okay, so like say for example, assume that I know that any student who is uh, uh, belonging to Amrita has a register number. Okay, which start with say any student who has registered to Amrita Bangalore campus has a register number starting with BL dot. Okay, later you will come to know why it is like that. Your register number would start from BL dot EN dot something like that. So BL stands for Bangalore, EN stands for engineering, then U4, that is for undergraduate 4 years. Okay, and so on. Then your branch, and then the number, etc. So I have a generic, I mean, I have a rule, or I know a fact that any student who is doing a course in Amrita Bangalore campus has a register number starting with BL. Okay. Now I take any student, like say I take Hemcharan, and I say Hemcharan has a register number starting with BL. Okay, so that is kind of a deductive reasoning. So or the other way, like say for example, in AI or now even in other branches, now we ask you to buy laptops, isn't it? So the same example, if I know that all my students in this class, EC, FGH, all the 3 sections together, so my class, all the students have laptop. If that is the case, if I pick any one of you, I can say that you have computer, laptop, because it's already known to that there is a fact to me that all students in the class have laptop. Okay. Now, if that is true, of course, any student when I pick, it is highly likely that he has a laptop, he or she has a laptop. So you understood how do we conclude. So the premise what I take is more generalized. And then when I come to a conclusion, I come to a conclusion which is specific. Okay, so that is kind of deductive reasoning. So I say all students in ECE have laptop, and I pick one student. This student belongs to ECI, and then I conclude that he or she has a laptop. Okay, or he or she has a register number, or he or she has a ID card, something like that. Understood? So when I say the premises or the facts, what I'm considering initially are generic, and then when I conclude based on that, I conclude something very specific, that is deductive reasoning. Whereas the other way, like I take some specific observations and then I try to conclude something which is a generalized version of it, then I say it's inductive. So now let us discuss. Can someone say some example for inductive? Just raise your hands, don't answer. I will call. So just raise if you can say me some example. Normal real life examples like what I was mentioning. Just raise your hand if you can share one example for inductive or deductive or both. Okay, Namrata has raised. Anybody else? Just raise your hands. Don't tell the example. I just want to know how many can say. Very similar examples you can say. Very simple examples. All animals, all cats, or all flowers, something like that. All planets. Some generic examples. I've given clue also. Yeah, I'll do it. Anyone else?
Ma'am, can I say?
Wait.
Okay.
Anirudh, you have to have some patience. I'm just asking you to raise your hand. I have now only Namrata and Anirudh. Anybody else can just raise. It's okay, it's okay. I just told you are usually little impatient. So I just told. Shashi Kamal, okay. Navaneet, Anil, okay. Anyone else? Okay, let us try. Maybe when someone says, if you get some ideas, you can still raise. Okay, tell Anirudh.
Ma'am, first example is all students in Amrita have uniform.
Okay.
That is inductive.
Now you didn't conclude only. It is just a statement. This is an argument. You have to, or premise. You conclude also.
Ma'am, but doesn't concluding make it detective as in
No, no,
deductive?
deductive or inductive, only when you conclude. You should have premise and conclusion. Then only it's reasoning. So whether it be inductive or deductive, when you say, when you come to the conclusion based on some premises, that procedure is what you're saying is, what is that? Logical reasoning. It can be inductive or it can be deductive.
Okay, ma'am. Can I give another example?
No, the same example you conclude. So all students of Amrita are having uniform. So that is the first, that is the premise what you have. And then
Yes, ma'am. And
say,
Joe,
yeah.
I can just say Joe wears uniform every day.
Yeah, no, yeah, that is your conclusion. So what you can tell is all students of Amrita has uniform, and then who?
Any name,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Anirudh, let it be. So Anirudh is a student in Amrita. So that is also one more fact. Now I conclude that he is wearing uniform. So the generic what I took was all students in Amrita are having uniform. And then when I took a specific case of Anirudh, I am concluding based on the generalized fact which is already available to me that all students at Amrita are wearing uniform. So when I took a student, specific student, I am concluding that he is also wearing uniform. Okay. So this is what inductive or deductive?
This would be deductive, no, ma'am.
Yeah, generic to specific. Yes, this is deductive. Now,
You can go specific to like generic
yeah,
also. Like you can
say an
say
example.
Bill Gates is unmarried.
Hmm.
Bill Gates is a bachelor. Any man that is not married is a bachelor.
Any man. Okay. So usually when you talk about inductive, you take few cases and then conclude. So Bill Gates. So Bill Gates is unmarried. He is bachelor. So all unmarried are something. You should say that way
Yes,
maybe.
ma'am. All unmarried men are bachelors.
Okay. But that is that a
Yes, ma'am.
conclusion? It's a more
This
like
is,
a fact only, right?
ma'am, can we use the same example that we
Yeah.
use for deductive, as in because Joe is an Amrita student and he's wearing
Yeah.
a uniform,
Uh,
thus all Amrita students have uniform.
So,
Wouldn't that be inductive?
you can go that way. So, what you do is you take one first student, like say any random student from Amrita, you take, he or she has worn uniform. Now, you take another student, that student also is wearing uniform. So, when you see two, three students like this, you conclude that any student from Amrita, all students from Amrita wear uniform. That, so now when you made this statement, the conclusion what you made were based on some specific observations which were your premise, and your conclusion is generalization, so it is inductive. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah, Namrata.
When you go to the product in a general store, when you find it there is some defect in the product, so
Can you
like two
repeat
times
Namrata? First statement was not clear. Can you just repeat once?
when you go to a general store and purchase a product and find there is a defect in it, so
Yeah.
it happens like 2 times you will come to a general reasoning that it is we shouldn't visit that store again. So that is inductive reasoning.
Yeah. So for example, yeah. So for example, a specific store, like say Just Bake. I'm taking just a random example. Okay. So assume that this week for my birthday, I have ordered from Just Bake. Just Bake. Okay. So and it turned out that this cake was not good. Okay. The next week again, maybe my friend has also ordered a cake from Just Bake, and it turns out to be a bad cake. Okay. So twice we had that experience. We try to generalize that every time we buy some cake from Just Bake, it is not good. So we conclude that cake from Just Bake is not good. So this is kind of generalization what you're making on few of your observations, specific observation, and it is inductive data reasoning. So you have to always tell which one it is. So this is inductive. Okay.
And now for deductive reasoning.
Mm.
So then, like a branded shop, we go to a branded one or a named one or a company based one.
Mm.
So, like you gave an example for a baker,
Just
cake
Bake.
shop. So we
Mm-hmm.
can go to Ivac where it has name and same. So that is in general, we come to a conclusion that it already had a name. Like we get many advertisements or we hear from people on social media saying it has a good taste in it.
Actually, Namrata, your voice is little breaking. Is it just for me or others also are finding it the same way?
It's happening to me also.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. It is not that your voice is not clear, but in between the clarity is little less. Can you repeat once, Namrata?
Yes, ma'am. This is clear, ma'am. Ma'am, is it
Not much, but then earlier when you told, I think it was a little better. The first time, I mean, I think the first example when you said when you Google a product and then that time it was a little more clear. Can you just maybe sit in that same position and say once?
ma'am?
Yeah.
So the next one is deductive reasoning. I feel like purchasing a product which is company based or a branded one, so that we hear like an advertisement or from people or from social media saying that it has a good choice and all. So that is deductive reasoning according to me.
Yeah, yeah. So, for example, now from your example, I'm just modifying a bit. Like, say, for example, the same example. So, Just Bake, if I say Just Bake is giving an offer of like 10% on 1 kg cake, okay? So, any cake from Just Bake has a 10% off today, okay? So, when I buy a cake, specific cake, okay, maybe a vanilla cake or a particular cake for 1 kg, I can surely think, I mean, I can assume that I have a 10% because it's already generalized, told that it's a fact that for today there is an offer for any Just Bake cake. So that's a generic fact what we know. And then a specific cake when I buy, I say that this cake will also have a 5% offer, 10% offer, discount, whatever it is. Okay, yeah. Then somebody else. You were not exactly saying that, but I just maybe modified it that way. Anybody else?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
so for inductive reasoning, we can say that the chairs in the living room are white, the chairs in the dining room are white, the chairs in the study room are white. So we can conclude that all the chairs in this house are white.
Okay. So you are saying chairs in the living room are white.
Yeah,
White, right? You are saying color white.
white, yeah,
Yeah,
color
yeah,
white.
yeah. So assume we are going to a home. What her example is, we are going to a home, and then we are observing each room by room. Like say, I take living room. I see all chairs in the living room are white. Now I observe in the dining room, all chairs in the dining room are white. Now I go to another room. I see maybe hall. I see all the chairs are white. So now I conclude that all the rooms in this home, sorry, all chairs in this home are white. Okay, so that
Yes,
is, it is inductive or deductive?
inductive.
Yes, exactly. So this is inductive because you are watching specific observances, you are making specific observances and then generalizing that any chair in this home or every chair in this home are white. Yes, yes. Somebody else
Ma'am,
can say maybe deductive. Let others
can
also.
I say deductive?
Yeah, you can. Who is this?
So for deductive, we can say that all dolphins are mammals, and then all mammals have kidneys.
Okay.
So we can come to the conclusion that all dolphins have kidneys.
Okay, that's also fine. All dolphins are mammals, and we know that all mammals have kidney. So you conclude that all, you take, okay, wait. So you're talking about deductive, right?
Yes, ma'am, deductive.
All dolphins are mammals. So generic to specific is our conclusion. So we need to come down, like say, what you can do is, you can make this statement and then all dolphins are mammals and any mammal has kidney. Now a specific dolphin, if you take, we say that it has kidney.
Yes. Is it correct? Or?
Yeah, it is correct. 70% of students are boys in our college. Sumant is a student, conclusion is a boy. You can't because it is 70%. You can't say that because it is 75%. No? All students, when we say, most of them, we don't say. When I understood what you meant, but when we say with respect to this reasoning, we say all. When we say most, etc., we can't conclude. If I say, if your statement was all students in this college are boys, of course any student you take, you will conclude as a particular student, like say Anirudh, and you say he's a boy. That statement, that reasoning would be actually, now since suddenly I am recollecting, last week when I was asking, last class when I was asking about pattern, these four cornerstones we were discussing, decomposition and all that. So when I talked about pattern recognition, I actually did not see it during the class, but later I noticed somebody who defined pattern recognition as I think that chat won't be available here. So it to be something related to machine learning. So identifying patterns and recognizing kind of thing which is used in machine learning. Here, of course, this pattern recognition is what we are talking in machine learning. But then when I talked about pattern recognition, it is just simple patterns what we see in our real life and we try to identify from that. That's all I meant. I didn't actually mean anything related to machine learning, but what we do in real life is actually what is used in our machine learning also. But then I didn't relate it to actual pattern recognition in your machine learning. So somebody mentioned that, so I wanted to just mention. And I will not be using those kind of terms much because there will be people who are very new to those kind of terms. No. Don't give pattern recognition and all. That was just one statement somebody had mentioned. I just wanted to clarify on it. So now again, somebody can come up with inductive deductive. Shashi Kamal, have you spoken already?
No, ma'am.
You tell one. Okay, you have already written. He is a cricket player. He had, what is it? He had a cricket kit. His brother, no, not like that. This is like 2-3 statements. We have still not concluded. Not this kind of. You're generalizing it. Like say, for example, the same example I can say. Assume that you are seeing a group of kids. Okay, a group of students or kids or people. Okay, and first person you are saying that he is a cricket player. Okay, maybe you have checked with them. Second person also you are identifying that he is also a cricket player. Now you say that all of them are cricket players. That is actually a inductive reasoning. A equal to B, B equal to C. No. This is transitive property. Hardik, this is not any kind of generalization. This is not reasoning. This is not what we are talking about. A equal to B, B equal to C, A equal to C is not what we are discussing. Kind of specific to general, general to specific. Pragnan, he is telling something. All numbers ending with 0 or 5 are divisible by 5. Yes, exactly. This is one good example. all numbers ending with, so one statement what he is telling is all numbers ending with 0 or 5 are divisible by 5. That is our premise 1. Now this number, that is the number 90, ends with 0. Okay, so we say that it is divisible by 5. Okay, exactly reason, I mean example for deductive reasoning. Good Pragna. These kind of examples are what we have to consider. A good example. Anybody else? I'm not saying that others did not give a good example. Like now already we are coming to some very similar example. So it was little different. Good. Now, anyone else wanted to say? You can unmute and say. Nitish, you wanted to say something? Navaneet. You have typed something. Okay, let me see. When a new academic year starts, as I am walking to the class, I realize that all people who have, where is it? Just a second. People are typing here. I realize that all people whom I have talked to on the way are my classmates or previous. So I conclude. Okay, the example is fine actually. You are kind of generalizing, or maybe you're kind of generalizing it. So it is kind of inductive reasoning, but then this is not the way you will tell it. Okay, this looks like an English literature, but then this is not the way you will tell it. You have to make statements. Okay, all your premises would be different statements. So I can say the first student or the first person I met on my corridor near to my class was a previous a classmate in my older school. Okay, the second person whom I met on the way was also a classmate of mine, a earlier classmate of mine. So now I say that the entire class of F section is my earlier classmates. Okay, that way you have to bring out content was correct, but the way you put it is not this way. Statements and then conclusion. All lions eat meat. Meat eating animals are carnivorous. Therefore, lions are carnivorous. Okay, so all lions eat. So this is inductive or deductive? That's all lions eat meat. Meat eating animals are carnivorous. Now, therefore, lions are carnivores. Now, it will be a little confusing for you to kind of tell me whether it's inductive or deductive. Can you tell me, Daksh? I think you are.
Ma'am, I think it's deductive.
Yeah, but I think such statements you might have a confusion whether it is inductive or deductive. You said it is deductive. What did you say? Inductive or deductive? Daksh.
Ma'am, I am Siskamala. I told deductive, ma'am.
Deductive. Okay. So yeah, but maybe when you make statements like this, it might lead to light kind of confusions. So all lions eat meat. Meat eating animals are carnivorous. Therefore, lions are carnivorous. You are saying deductive because all lions. Still, it is all lions only. Conclusion is also all lions, about all lions. But maybe the other way we can take, meat eating animals are carnivorous. So it's like generic. Okay. Any meat eating animal. It can be other than lions also. Okay. So it can be deductive in this way. So meat eating animals are carnivorous. Lions eat meat. So lions are carnivorous. Then we can say don't put this all etc. Meat eating animals are carnivorous. Lions eat meat. Therefore, lions are carnivorous. That way we can say this is deductive. Now, all birds have feathers. All sparrows are birds. So, all sparrows have feathers. Okay. But make sure that like that specific to generic or generic to specific, that thing you should bring it out properly. So I think now most of you have understood I hope others also, those who did not tell an example also, maybe by these many examples, I think it is more clear to you. So this is how we say whether it is inductive. And somebody said me, you're not able to see my screen. Are you able to see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no, but someone
Yes,
said
ma'am.
me, yeah, but someone, I don't remember who it is.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, all birds are have feathers. That one directive only, ma'am.
That's what, when you make these kind of statements, no, this is the problem. So you're saying all, still so many are writing, I'm not able to read everything, okay. 4 is
All
divisible by,
birds have feathers. All sparrows are birds. So all sparrows have feathers. I wrote, ma'am.
just a second, let me read that. So many examples, actually wonderful, you all are writing so many. I actually missed many, sorry. Yeah.
Ma'am, can you
All birds have feathers, all sparrows are birds. All sparrows. Yeah, so what you have to write is, don't write this all sparrows, etc. All birds have feathers. Sparrows are birds, so sparrows have feathers. Now, if you write like this, it is little more specific. Like when you write, see these kind of statements, you might get confused whether it is generic to specific or specific to generic. So all birds have feathers. Now you're specifically talking about sparrow, that word. Okay, so sparrows are birds, so sparrows have feathers. Okay, deductive only. So that's the problem. You have to justify why you feel it is inductive or deductive. That you should tell properly. Example for inductive. My maths professor who taught me holds a PhD. The maths professor who taught me this year. So therefore, all yeah, correct. Vinay, that's correct. The maths professor who taught me last year holds a PhD. The maths professor who taught me this year holds a PhD. Therefore, all maths professors have a PhD. Yeah, this kind of statement when you say it is, of course, inductive. Okay, this is clear. These kind of examples are very clear. But when you bring this all, etc., here and there, you might have little confusion how to interpret it. Okay. Okay, I think there are more. I'll go through it. Anyway, wonderful job. All of you have responded. I'm happy about it. I'm not able to read everything. All students in Amrita are vegetarians. Manoj is. So, one more actually, you need to have at least 2 statements to come down to a conclusion. So, when you write like this, all students in Amrita are vegetarians. Manoj is a student in Amrita. So, Manoj is a vegetarian. Now, this is exactly your deductive reasoning. Every phone has a Google application. Someone is browsing in Google so that we can conclude that he is using phone. So don't write like this. Your idea is correct, but you shouldn't write like this. Statements, then conclusion. Every phone has a Google application. Okay. Okay. Every phone has a Google application. This person is browsing in Google. So conclusion is he is using phone. Okay, but not exactly how we can, I mean, it's not very 100% clear, but it's fine. But you have to put it like statements and conclusion. My car has 4 wheels and my friend's car has 4 wheels. So all cars have 4 wheels. Yeah, this is actually example for inductive because we are specific to general. It is dangerous. Yeah, sorry, I just had to talk. Okay, it is dangerous to drive on icy streets. The streets are icy, no, so it would be dangerous to. This is not exactly deductive reasoning. Amrita class starts at 8:30. Abhay is a student, so his class must, yeah. All chickens have eggs, but all eggs are, not all eggs are edible. You didn't conclude anything, so we can't say like that. There were 3 notes in my bag. The first note I pulled out was 500. Third note I pulled was 500. So yeah, not exactly. Maybe I can say all my notes are 500, something like that. It is inductive if you say that way. I got passed in all subjects. I passed in maths, deductive. 4 is divisible by 2, 6 is divisible by 2, therefore, and you should tell 4 4 and 6 are even numbers, something like that. That premise also should be there, okay? Otherwise, suddenly when I say all even numbers are divisible, it does not make sense, ma'am, because we are drawing one conclusion by generalizing. So there are so many still, I am not able to read it, sorry. If I read, I think I'll be fully sitting and reading. Anyway, wonderful job, all of you. You've put a lot of efforts and you're coming up with so many ideas. I'm happy about it. You're understanding, so what is inductive and deductive, okay? So let us just move forward. Okay, so we discussed what is inductive, deductive. Now let us see what is expressions, okay? So an expression is simply one or more variables or constants. We understand basics of variables and constants. So when we say variables, we can change the value. Constants are new numbers. Like say when I write x is equal to 5. X is a variable, 5 is a constant. So what is the operator there? When I write x is equal to 5, which is the variable, which is the constant, which is the operator? Can somebody say? You have to unmute and say, I'm not seeing the chat. I am writing x is equal to 5. So what is the variable, what is the constant, and what is the operator in this statement?
X is the variable, equal to sum is the operator, 5 is the constant.
Yeah. So x is the variable, 5 is the constant, equal to is the operator what I have used. Okay. So similarly, you are familiar with so many basic operators like plus, minus, multiplication, division, etc. So expression is combination of these variables, constants joined by operators. So an expression is evaluated and it gives out a result. So result of all arithmetic operations are either integers or reals. What is this real? Real numbers. So when we say usually integers, you understand its whole numbers. When we say real, you will have decimal points also attached to it. So when we say reals, it's actually any real number. Okay, it may have decimal numbers, decimal values. So an expression can also yield a result that is either true or false, like previously we were discussing. So I can have some expressions which can have a result which gives out just true or false. So then we say it is Boolean expression. Like previously when I said arithmetic expression, you already know arithmetic expressions, isn't it? So like say for example a plus b, you know it's an arithmetic expression, result can be integer or real. But when I say a is equal to b or a not equal to b, so then it can be either true or false. So that is Boolean expression. Now when I say if something is either true or false, we say it's Boolean, okay? And that kind of expressions are called relational expression, okay? So I can say 5 greater than 4. Can I say like that? So greater than is the symbol what we use. That is the operator. So when I say 5 greater than 4, it is an expression. And what happens? We say either it is true or it is false, okay? So that either true or false, that is termed as Boolean. And the expression which will evaluate to either true or false, we say that expression as relational expression, okay? So something relates, so A is greater than B or A less than B, A not equal to B, something of this sort, okay? So those kind of expressions are called relational expression. So I am asking if is X greater than Y, so those kind of things, okay? So whether it is yes or no. So relational expressions usually are intended to give a true or false or a yes or no answers. Obviously, Boolean values and Boolean variables play an important role in relational expressions. So operators. Now you already told me examples of equal to. Then you said plus, minus, etc. What are the other operators? What you are familiar with? Just tell me some operators. No, don't bring into your programming knowledge into it. Assume that you are 11th, 12th standard student who doesn't know anything related to programming. Other than that, if you know some operators, you tell that. Yes, some operators which you have learned. So many operators you have learned in maths. What are they? Arithmetic operators, what are they? Multiplication, addition, yeah, plus, minus, yes,
Division.
So all plus, minus, star, division, all these multiplication, division, all these together, they are arithmetic operators, isn't it? So similarly, there are other operators which is called, say, relational operators. So what are they? So for relational expression, we use relational operators and logical operators. Now what is this relational operators? You know, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. These you have used in maths, isn't it? X greater than y, x greater than or equal to y. In maths you will write it as greater than, and then below that you will write, that's how you write, isn't it? So here it will be like, we write like this
We
usually.
learned this
Yeah.
in C++.
Sorry?
We learned this in C++.
Yeah. That's why I told you, assume that you don't have any programming language. So it is generic to all. So even then, even if you have not learned in any programming language, you have learned it in maths, isn't it? Greater than, equal to, less than or equal to, etc. You have learned in maths. When you write, say, x greater than y, x less than or equal to y, etc., you have written. So those operators are called relational operators. You're kind of comparing one, relating to variables. Now equal is also there, like whether x is equal to y. Is x equal to y? So that time we write 2 equal to, because if I write, say, x is equal to 5, what is the usual meaning when I just write x is equal to 5? Which means 5 I am assigning a value 5 to the variable x. That is the meaning usually. But what if I want to check whether x and 5 are same? Okay, or maybe I have some value in x, I have some value in y. I need to check whether they both are same. So then also I will just write equal to in your maths, but in programming languages we use double equal to. Okay, so equal to, that's what we use for relational operator. And this symbol exclamation mark then equal to, that is called as not equal to. Okay, so not equal to. So if I write A not equal to B, which means you are checking whether A and B are not equal. Okay, is there any confusion in any of these relational operators? Please tell. Okay, so then, yeah. You wanted to say something?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So then we have something called logical operators. Okay, so we have relational operators, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. Okay, just kind of comparing two variables or expressions. Now what is logical operators? Like, say, if I want to say, if your marks are above, marks are greater than 50 and you have attended all the class, then you get this grade, something like that. So I need to check both conditions. So marks should be above this, and say, for example, in Amrita entrance, your rank should be above this, and say you should belong to this particular state, then you get a scholarship of that much amount, something of that sort. So I am telling two conditions and I am putting an and, isn't it? We usually tell like that. So that is also an operator here, which is called logical operator. It is and or not. Okay, this and symbol. This is used as and symbol only, right? So this and symbol, and this is the pipe symbol. When we write it twice, it is or, logical or, and one exclamation mark, we say it is not. Okay, we will discuss one, or maybe it will still come in the further classes also. Okay, I think it's time. Maybe I'll end it here.
Ma'am, will you please share this PPT?
Sure. I have shared the previous one. Could you find it?
In that, ma'am?
In the Teams.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
You
ma'am.
could
I'll
see,
get,
right? Yeah.
okay.
I have shared. Similarly, I will share if you want. I can just, but I don't know how you are seeing it. That's why I'm not showing it over my screen. It is there in your Teams if you go in the files. So in the Teams, if you click, I can just show if you want, but.
Ma'am, in files only recording is there.
Yes, ma'am. Only recordings are there.
You should go to class material.
Class material is also there.
It is there. Just a second.
Yes, madam. Class material also there, madam.
Just a second. Let me show. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So Teams, when you take, it may not be same as mine, but you see different subjects. And if you click ours, that is 19 CSE 100 is our PSAT. You click on that. You see post and files. So you click on files. You see class materials and recordings. So in class materials, if you click, it is introduction only I have put already. Now, if you click on the recordings, you will see the previous recordings. Okay. So like this, you have to go and check.
Ma'am, what is our class name, ma'am? 19 EC 100.
No. BTech 2021 RECE 9. You have to see, this will be there common for all your subjects. This represent you, in the sense your class. 2021 batch of ECE, regular students. Okay. And then this last few things, no, that is your subject. 19 CSE 100 is for PSAT. Similarly, you may have say 19 ECE something. That is for your some other subject, and so on.
Ma'am, only the introduction is there, ma'am. Like the first lecture.
I have taken only one lecture. I repeated it again in the next class.
So you uploaded only introduction, ma'am?
Only that is covered.
Okay. And this
Now,
also there in the
today
section.
I will, after each class I will upload.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
So today's class I will upload. So that will be lecture 2. I have
Okay.
taken 2 classes, but I repeated the first lecture again